I'm thinking like, I got a black judge. She gonna look at my mugshot and be like, what happened to your face? Case dismissed. It's nothing to talk. Why he pointing a gun at you? Case dismissed. Actually, one of the cops filed a report, said I broke his hand. You know how his hand got broke?
Beating you in the face.
Yeah, from beating me in the face. It was like almost like hilarious to hear him talk about this in court. I'm like, I know I'm out. Well, give me 10 minutes, I'll be out this courtroom. Guilty, all charges. This is Justin Bieber coming in here in front of a white judge. Come on, man. Send Justin Bieber upstate. I don't even think that's an option.
Right.
Because he addicted to using drugs? That wouldn't be an option. Like, man, come on, a threat to the community, a threat to the community for what? Even if I ever got in a fight or a threat to the community, that stuff you use, like, I was locked up with guys, I read their paperwork, these like mob bosses and big gang leaders where they paperwork, the district attorney said they was a threat to the community. Where do I fit in this, miss? Them cops coming there talking about somebody pointed a gun at them at nighttime and ain't a single shot fired, nobody's hit. You was supposed to kill me if I aimed a gun. Like, if I read my transcripts, the media ain't getting that. He pointed a gun at me. He chased me around the car. Like, what? Come on, stop. For what? And the DA, like, he wanted to protect this drug operation. Then she told me I couldn't travel for 3 months. After I couldn't travel, she was like, we gonna figure out what you could do after the cases are resolved. Both of the cases got threw out. And I still got locked up, actually. So it was really draining. It was a real thing for me. I'm like, I'm sitting in here. My bill is $60,000, $70,000 a month. I don't think I should go from playing in the house with my son shackled from ankle to wrist, top to bottom, within a matter of seconds because I popped the wheel. It's a culture shock, man, when you come from doing what you want and then being shackled. Like, people don't understand, like, they just be like, he in jail. No, you really, I'm a celebrity, so when I first come through, they got me locked in 24 hours, shackled. Like, they got it's a box that go around your arms, that connect around your waist, that go all the way down to your feet. And when you use the phone, like, they put you in this small cage, like, you can't even turn, like, it's the whole. The whole got policies. You got people that kill people in jail, everything. So I'm like a high-profile person. I'm just at this situation. So it was really mind-boggling. So when I came home, I was just adjusting. You gotta think about it. I came home on a helicopter. I was actually in the cell watching the news. Meek Mills up for bail. I'm like, what? I jumped up. The lady was like, we was actually locked in. She came to my cell and like, pack your stuff. We getting you out of here because we don't want no commotion. When we got out, we rode like a half a block. I was looking out the window to the side. I'm looking at the fans. I'm like, people really waiting outside for me to get out of jail? I'm still like humbled by that. I can't believe this. I tell people, my music, I might start talking hurt. You know what I'm saying? I might talk anger. Like when Tupac was like, America eat his babies, like, y'all gonna make me go crazy. He said, I'm still smiling. Yeah, it's them thoughts still deep inside, because you got to be angry if you've been sent to prison 4 or 5 times. It's also a self-hate thing, and that's what I was trying to tell people when Kanye's speaking. He trying to deliver something, but I just think
he don't know how to communicate it.
Yeah, and you got to be informed. Like, even a lot of stuff he's speaking on is, like, serious stuff. Like, you can't, it's people locked behind them walls they basically scholars to this stuff, and they've been in prison their whole lives. They like take that stuff. They're offended by a lot of stuff. Even I talked to him one day. I was like, yeah, I was kind of offended when I see in a nice way. Like, even when I made a little post, I was saying, like, you inspired me. It's upsetting to hear you say certain things that you're saying. Like,
100%.
yeah, like,
but Kanye don't know none of that.
He need to, though. Go visit a prison. Go see what's going on. Go see about people that's working for $8 cents an hour. Go see some people in here raising little kids in a visiting room. You get raised in a visiting room, you ain't gonna have no problem with going to jail and later on in your life. I think that's like where Hov was at 10 years ago with the younger rap. Everybody looked up to Hov. All the young guys, whether they say it or not, a lot of these guys, I feel like they look at me a certain way, and I feel like I can voice my opinion. I've been through everything. I ain't got to fabricate nothing. I don't got to act like a certain type of way or a certain type of person. I feel like I could just get that type of game out, and they're going to look at it a certain way. In the world where we come from, to be doing something good, like, you got to be down with some type of organization. And that's what also slowed my career up. I would never, like, submit to being a certain way. You know, like when Allen Iverson was like, they was like, you can't wear these certain type of clothes. Basically, what he was addressing, like, what type of clothes are these? Like, we know in the mafia, they wear suits. These real killers, gangs, they wear suits. Why is these? I understand your pants sagging, you got your underwear showing and stuff like that, but what type of clothes are these? Like, what do this jewelry? You can't wear jewelry to what does this rap? This is our culture. I met Mike. I was at the All-Star game. I'm sitting next to him, so I'm taking a lot of pictures. And after a while, he was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I rap. I'm from Philly." He was like, "Oh, I'm from Philly too. I own the Sixers." In my head, I'm clicking, bing, money. I'm just thinking as a hustler, not how I can come up off of him. I just turned around like, I asked him, was he self-made? He was telling me, yeah, he's self-made. He came up flipping his bar mitzvah money. And I was like, at what point you got from 2-3 million, 4-5 million to 500 million? Like, what was the transaction? What type of moves you made? So we started talking. He was like, I like the questions you asked me. I asked Jay-Z stuff like that too. What's the most money you seen in cash? What's the craziest thing you ever seen? I just do that because...
You really lose 72 bricks and get it all back.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff I be on. So I be like, if I hear it from somebody I know and I know it's the truth, I believe that I can achieve it. When you actually standing with somebody like, yeah, I made $7 billion last week. You know in your head it's possible. Well, it makes me like, it give me a drive more. It's a lot of good rappers that make a lot of money and treat people with respect.
Jay like that.
Yeah, Jay-Z. Jay-Z actually responsible for some of my legal fees, which I thought was like the dopest in the world because it was some millions of dollars. I don't even think I could have afforded it. No, Beyonce ain't saying no shit like this out of her mouth. Like, I had to play it back again. Like, what? She told me she in the hood screaming free Meek. And I look at that as like, that's mega support from Jay and Beyonce because they don't have to say it. You know, Beyonce ain't shouting no niggas out in jail. I took that as like, damn, God really working in my favor. You got B talking about free Meek Mill. That was like, damn, this J and B and the support like that to put you on that platform and give you that type of support. These people got a lot of influence. It basically helping me save my life. Some big things about to happen. Some real big things about to happen. That's gonna be surrounded by reforming justice, and you know you need money to do this type of stuff. You need big foundations to participate in this type of stuff. For actually, like my case, it was a lot of investigators. My lawyer told y'all when he was here, it was a lot of investigators and people like in the middle of my case bringing things to the light, and with justice for like people who don't have the resources or the money, they need these type things to get out of prison. And we working on an organization right now that's it's gonna be big. The only way we was taught to express ourselves is through anger. Like even with black people, when we talk about slavery, you gotta go all the way back, not just to the surface of the problem, go all the way back to slaves housing slaves and the way the system was created to make slaves hate each other, and that carried on. A little girl just got shot in her head in my neighborhood. It ain't even make it to news. They talking about a gorilla for a week. In our eyes, it make me not value myself. Like, oh, they don't really care about us. And when Kanye saying like people are controlled, when he talking to media stuff, he making some good points. I understand where he going at, but he making some bad points too, and it's overshadowing the points he really making. But I think I go deeper than that. Even with Wendy, I was like, I seen Don Lemon over. I'm like, he said, I'm like, tell her stop saying certain stuff that she's saying, because one time she was like, yeah, we kind of know he's innocent now, but if I was the judge, I would keep him in here. First of all, you black media, you got a real platform. I got a son in the house. I got a son. That's another son that's not being raised with a father. I would go 2 years without raising my son. My mom is watching the show. This another black woman lost her son. Right. You basically saying we know he innocent, but if I was the judge, I would keep him in, and I'm actually watching people clap to that. The whole narrative is if you committed a crime at 18 years old, you shouldn't be going to jail at 31 years old for
I agree.
not committing crimes. And they make us think that's okay. Like the way they set it up is like you see people on Instagram or Charlamagne saying, yeah, he broke probation. Jail it is. No, these are extreme conditions. Like if you see if we go Google a state prison tray, this stuff we wouldn't even get to our dog. If my dog, we got a little Yorkie in my house, if it bit you on the ankle and then bit my other friend on the ankle next week, I wouldn't lock my dog in the closet for a month. Talking about justice, you get locked up for a crime or you don't. Like it's like when people get exonerated from prison, it could have looked like they did the murder 10 different ways. People will go with justice because, right, they say justice is the end result that America represents. Justice was, I ain't been arrested in 11 years for committing crime at all. I actually been doing good in my life. I am not an angel. I made mistakes. It was situations I could have ejected myself from, but I ain't commit no crime, and I ain't have intentions. I never stepped out the house with intentions of committing crimes and doing negative stuff. That wasn't to rehabilitate. Jail was to rehabilitate they safe. That was to destroy 2 years. My career would have been over with. It's not, I wouldn't say over with because I'm just a fighter like that, but people would have viewed it as that way, and I would have had to fight so hard to get back. Like, I take care of a family tree. I employ people. Man, let's come up with a different solution. 2 to 4 years state time. But in the dark, these are the laws that really exist. Like, I seen something with Kevin Gates right now. He can't leave out of Chicago.
Nope.
What y'all trying to get him killed? Y'all see is he got locked up in Chicago. Like, really in the courtroom, you supposed to be like, man, sir, Your Honor, 700 people got killed in Chicago this year. I came to Chicago with a firearm. I fear for my life. I want to protect my life. I'm one of the, I could be 701. I'm a black young man coming to this area. There should be some leniency taking place. There should be some leniency taking place to that. No, lock him up, put him in a state prison. He come home, you can't work, you got to stay here. What you gonna do? You think Kevin Gates, he's known for making money, getting a lot of money. He's eligible for a home invasion. He's black. He's eligible to get murdered. Let that man go and work and do what he got to do. You don't think that's slowing him up?
Absolutely.
Your family live in a whole different state and you can't move? In New York, you see some of the situations. I don't want to speak on people's legal stuff. We know what happened in some of the situations, but the DA still gonna pursue it like, no, you did that. If we don't get who did that, you did that. One of y'all did that, and somebody gonna go to jail. That ain't justice. If somebody going to jail for somebody else's murder, you riding in the car with me, I jump out and shoot somebody and get back in the car with you. You might not want to get out the car with me. You just seen me shoot somebody. Now we ride off and get locked up. It's conspiracy.
Oh, no,
it's real life, though. It's like when you hear us rapping, when we like such and such, if you do this, I'm going to do that. We was traumatized. This is how we was brought up. No, because look, this is what I learned, man, and it's serious. I seen when them 17 kids got killed in the school in Florida, they got up and they protested for their people. They made sure they made a presence for their people, and it became a big issue. To me, that was normal when 17 people get killed. Like 17 people get killed in my neighborhood every 17 days. But I would love when that happened in our neighborhood, and it got to start with us. It can't start with no kids from the suburban area standing up for us. But when we stand up, I'm going to love to see them kids come stand with us the same way. And we could put it into maybe it being 8, because I know where I could find an 8K in 10 minutes in New York, Philadelphia. It's AKs, it's 13, 14-year-old kids running around with AKs. We don't make AKs. They get in there some type of way. They're around, and you can get an Uzi faster than you can get a job for sure in our neighborhoods, and something got to change, and I love the way they stood up, and I just think that there's always going to be a space for change and real things to happen. I got a platform to make something happen. I am not turning into a full-time activist. I don't care about taking credit for helping people. I've been helping people, my peoples, my whole life and my community. I got a platform to do a job, and I'm going to do the job because I'm actually interested in seeing people get out of these crazy situations that I've seen a lot of people in.